Hey guys, my name is Woodrow Lucas, and lately I've been making some shorts on YouTube just as a hobby, fun thing. But today I made some shorts that were kind of interesting. They were um, no apology shorts, and the gist of what I was talking about in these shorts is that our world is becoming so critical, fault finding oriented, judgmental, self righteous, narcissistic, homogenous, forcing conformity on people. That there are people on this earth that don't even feel like they belong. Like there there are Pakistani Christians in Pakistan who don't even feel like they have a place to be. And I'm sure the Palestinians in Israel feel the same way. And I'm not saying the Jews are wrong or the Palestinians are wrong or anything, but I'm just saying there are so many people in this world who right now feel like they have to apologize for their very existence. You know, it's like a person has different, as society gets more complex, people's understanding of themselves grows in complexity. So, of course, now that we have more complexity in our society, people are going to have a more complex sense of gender. We're not going to have the same simplicity that we had 200 years ago because we have a much more complex, dynamic society now. But I look at the transgender people that I know and I see the shame on their faces, man. Like, they want to be, proud of who they are as being transgendered people, and they are. They have self-esteem and they have self-respect, but there's discomfort about them, like, who's going to judge me? Who's going to judge me? Who's going to do this? Sometimes when I drive in rich areas in the Nashville area, I'm looking over my shoulder constantly, like, are the cops around? Like when I have to drive my daughter Gabby to soccer games, like in Belmead or in Franklin, I freak out, man. I drive, I'm like, oh man, how's it gonna be? Like, I want to get to this game quick and watch the game and get her home quick, and that's it. And don't let me drive at Chapel Hill. I don't know if it's called Cherry Hill or Cherry Hill's New Jersey, but there's this town out here in Tennessee called Chapel Hill, man, where it's nothing but lawn jockeys and Confederate flags. I'm just like, whoa, dude, I do not belong here. I don't want to be here. Y'all can have your town. Just have your town. I'll see you later. And that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that my people built the economy of the South. We built the economy of the South with our labor. And yet I feel like I can't even be in most places in the South outside of Davidson County, Tennessee. I feel like if I go outside the city, I'm an endangered species. That's really wrong. That's really problematic in our society. And don't get me started on being a mentally ill person, because if you're a mentally ill person, man, I mean, the minute you tell somebody you're mentally ill, their eyes go, oh, oh, and they get they get that Mr. Evil look in their face. Ooh, ooh, you're mentally ill. Oh well, good luck with that, and it was nice meeting you. Maybe you want to take my number out of your phone, just as we leave each other's presence. I mean, being mentally ill is hilarious, man. I'm so glad that God made me one of the strongest people that I've met. I'm one of the strongest people that I know. I really am. I've been through a lot of stuff, and I just keep coming back, and I never quit. And it's not me; it's Jesus Christ in me. But you being mentally ill is just hilarious, man. People just have all kinds of things to say about you. but it's not just being mentally ill. It's being a single mother. It's being African American, unmarried with kids. It's being, you know, I mean, any number of things. It's being a Hindu immigrant trying to start a temple in the middle of, suburbia. It's so much stuff in our society that is so hateful and that is so intolerant and that is so not trying to embrace the other. I mean, it's just like people get sick of society, they get tired of the world, social media, all the stuff. They get tired of all of it. So they go to the church to escape. Then they get in the church, and the church has more lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and pride of life than the world. And they're like, well, what do I do now? I'm not good enough for the world. I'm not good enough for the church either. Out in the world, you're a pariah and you're a misfit. Then in the church, you're even worse. And that's got to change. We got to do something about this. Because, guys, they called Jesus mentally ill. What do you think having a demon was back in Jesus' time, other than that you have mental illness? And everybody said that Jesus had a demon. Not just the Pharisees, not just the Sadducees, but everybody under the sun said that Jesus had a demon. And Jesus often acted kind of quirky on a couple occasions. But he knew what it was like to be an outcast. He hung out with outcasts, man. Jesus preferred outcasts. He preferred tax collectors. He preferred prostitutes. He preferred, fishermen. They weren't outcasts, but he preferred just entrepreneur types, fishermen, He preferred the fringe of society. Because at least they were authentic. At least they were like themselves. At least they were like, well, we're just messed up. Oh, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. They weren't caught up in all that keep up with the Joneses like the Pharisees were. And they weren't caught up in all that, like, I gotta look a certain way, I gotta feel a certain way, I gotta have six-pack abs, I gotta wear the right clothes, I gotta be in the right neighborhood, I gotta have the right house. I remember I was trying to date this woman back in the day when I first got divorced. And this woman was so on me, man. This woman was like, oh, you're just a great guy. Oh, you're so great. And then I told her that I lived in Antioch. That's the last I heard of her. I was never in communication with this woman ever again as soon as I told her that I lived in Antioch, Tennessee. In case you're wondering what Antioch, Tennessee is, it's a predominantly minority neighborhood or city right next to Nashville. And it's a wonderful city. I love living in Antioch. I'm proud living in Antioch. But a lot of folks just are like, you live in Antioch? Oh, you don't live in Brentwood? If you lived in Brentwood, we'd get together. I mean, so much about our world and our society has no meaning in the scheme of things whatsoever. But God has meaning, and Jesus has meaning, and love has meaning. And so what the whole no apologies videos are about is just being like, look, man, I am what I am. If I'm a single mother with 6 kids by 6 different daddies, oh well, I love me, Jesus loves me, and I make no apologies. If I weigh 400 pounds and I got to use a walker to get around, or one of them little rollers to get around, Jesus loves me, I love me, and I make no apologies. And that's what the no apologies videos are about, guys. They're about making no apologies. I mean, it's like, I'm not going to talk about my accomplishments in this video because they're not important right now. But I don't back down to anybody. I don't look up to anybody but Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Nobody has it. I don't care how famous you are. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how many degrees you have. I'm not afraid of anyone. And I will look you eye to eye. I don't care who you are. This is how I was raised, and that's who I am. And I've always been like that. I've always been a free spirit who's like, I'm not impressed with anything but Jesus Christ. That's it. So, the My Apologies campaign, or these little videos that I'm making called No Apologies, are just to give people a sense of be yourself, man. Be yourself and make no apologies for it. Because these people who want you to apologize for who you are normally even more insecure than you. And normally have more internal problems than you. So just be who you are. If you're overweight, be overweight. If you're gay, be gay. If you don't believe in God, all right, don't believe in God. I'm a universalist. I believe in God hardcore. I believe that God saved everybody. I believe that Jesus Christ was born of a virgin and saved the whole creation. But I know why atheists don't believe, because they see such hypocrisy among those of us who believe. I don't blame them for not believing. I can see their point of view. And that doesn't make me great or anything, but it just makes me aware that I can see how someone would not believe in God, given how things are. So the no apologies idea is this idea of, if you feel like a misfit, if you feel like you don't belong in this world, stop trying to fit into this world. It's never going to happen. And the world isn't worth it. And don't try to fit into the church either, because the church isn't worth it. Just be yourself. And find kindred spirits. And you'll be cool. That's what No Apologies is about. And that's what my novel Birds of Flight is about. I wrote a novel, Birds of Flight, like 5 years ago. No one has read the thing. I think it's been read by like 10 people. I think 10 people have read my whole novel. I think a total of 25 people have read my whole novel. I don't think I've ever got a royalty on that novel. I don't think I've ever got a royalty check for my novel. So I'm not sure how many people have read it, but not that many folks have read it. But it's a beautiful novel because it's about these 7 misfits, these 7 mentally ill people who find each other, find love, and find God. And in that synergy, they find a way to transcend their struggles, and they all become like powerful. And they all become successful according to the standards of the world. But before they become successful according to the standards of the world, they accept themselves as they are, and they love each other as they are, and they come to grips with who they are, and they love themselves. So the book is beautiful. No one's read it. No one wants to read it. I got family members who haven't read this book. I got family members who tell me they've read it, and I know they haven't read it because they don't even know what happened in it. So I'm just saying, if you want to get it, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Empowered Recovery Consulting, on my websites. Just Google Woodrow Lucas. It'll come up somehow. Get it. Get the book. And if you don't want to buy it, just bootleg it or something. Because my publisher gets all the money from it anyway. I don't get any money from that book. So I don't care if you bootleg it. I'm not trying to get rich off that book. I want somebody to read that book because I think it's got a powerful message. I don't care if I make any money at all off that book. My publisher cares, but I don't care. So, because I'm just tired. I'm tired of the way this world tries to shame people and make them feel like they're not appropriate. I'm like, who are you to decide what's appropriate? Somebody might think that these YouTube videos are inappropriate. Oh, you're you're a scholar. You shouldn't be making YouTube videos. Or you're a man of God. YouTube is not what you should be doing. Whatever. Who made you like the boss of me? You know what I'm saying? I mean, for real, like, you know, who made you? I remember I was dating this AKA one time, and she was like, you know, I just don't understand why you listen to secular music. Why don't you listen to only spiritual music? I was like, why do you care? Are you the boss of me? We don't need to date anymore. Because I listen to secular music and spiritual music. I find God in Sam Cooke just as much as I find God in Kirk Franklin. That's me. Somebody else has a different orientation. We got to learn, guys. We're snowflakes. We're all different and the same simultaneously. Let's learn to love our differences and our similarities and just accept each other as we are. And stop trying to control each other. That's what No Apology is about. It's about saying, this is who I am. And I make no apologies. So if you see those shorts on your YouTube searches, check out this video too. And check out my book, Birds of Flight, and like I said, if you can get it on PDF, get it on PDF. If you can get it on bootleg, get it on bootleg. I don't care. I don't need to make no money from this book. I have other ways to make money in this book. I want people to read this book because I think it's got a message of hope and inspiration. And nobody's read it, so I want somebody to read it. I give it away so people read it. I give it to the homeless. They're the only ones who have read it. Sometimes I think that the homeless people of this world have the most intelligence and common sense of all of us. I have the best conversations with the homeless people. I have better conversations with the homeless people than I have with scholars at Vanderbilt. Seriously. I mean, it's funny. And they're the only ones who read my book. The only people who actually I've given my book to and read it have been a couple of Starbucks baristas and the homeless people in Antioch. But if you don't want to buy my book, don't buy my book because it's not in my book. The real message I want to send here is be yourself and stop trying to conform to this illusion that everybody thinks is so important that has no value at all. Because Jesus loves you just as you are. And that's got to be enough for you. That's got to be enough for all of us. So that we can say, I am that I am. And I make no apologies.